Hi there, my name is Krista, and I'll be doing the weekly reading for the sign of Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of April 15th to April 21st. Please forgive me for putting this up a teeny bit late. My schedule changes in 2 weeks, so I'll be able to have these up on time for you from now on. So Pisces, welcome to my channel. To learn more about me, how to get a personal reading, about my book and the cards that I'm using, you can find those in the description box. There's also a link to a site called Always Astrology, where if you don't already know your moon and rising signs, you can just plug in your information there and it'll give you a snapshot of your chart, including where all your planets are placed in which sign. So this is a general reading. If for whatever reason you find this doesn't resonate with you fully or you want some more explanation, you can always look up your rising or moon sign for the week. So let's say you're a Pisces sun and you have your moon in Leo. You would watch Pisces and Leo videos and see if either of those appeal to you. So with all that being said, let's move on to your general reading, Pisces. So I wish for Pisces all success, joy, and wellness. I invoke spirits of love, light, and beauty. I call upon Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Metatron, and Uriel to guide this reading in peace and clarity, protection, and wisdom. I ask Mother God to bless this reading. So we're looking for general messages for the sign of Pisces for the week of April 15th to April 21st. Too many there. Let's keep going. General messages for Pisces. Okay, so already you have a central card. I'm doing a 5-card spread today, sorry. So central issue, what you're coming out of, probable outcome, external and internal influences, and then we'll draw a card each from the Healing with the Angels Tarot and the Medicine card deck. But for the general reading, I'm using the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. So for your central position, you have round and round, which is pretty much what it sounds like. You might be revisiting something over and over and over, and feeling like you're getting nowhere with it, like a spinning wheel. And it might be because at least this week or previous to this week or just coming into the week, you've rushed into something or taken action where inaction might have been more helpful. So it is a weekly reading. It's not something, you can't get out of or redo or undo or anything like that. But it is definitely something that you've met with before. And this could be about like esteem issues. So, because you've rushed into it or been forced to face it head on or been forced to rush into it, even though you thought you were doing the right thing, or what felt good at the time, it turns out that it's replaying itself, whatever the outcome is from taking that action in a general manner. So again, whatever is prominent for you for the week, Pisces, whether it's business or travel or personal or platonic relationships, whatever that is, that, in taking that action, you've wound up sort of where you were before, whatever that means to you in a general sense. And, so the Fates is the external influence. Let's look at the internal influence before I look at the entire deck again. But you do have as the probable outcome card the All That Glitters. Anything here can be changed by knowing what you're up against. By the way, Pisces, you have the opportunity to take a different route or to change your mind or switch it up. So probable outcome just means like if all this were to keep going without any change or without any contemplation, this is probably you'll end up with. Or it could just be asking like this card does, and your probable outcome is a series of questions, a series of contemplation, which is what do you really want and why? Right? I mean, welcome to the human condition, but what are you rushing into that you're meeting with the same whatever, fill in the blank, over and over and over, not really digging it. It's just something that happens over and over and over because you're doing the same thing. And you might find for the first time or the first time in a long time, Pisces, this week, that you're not, first of all, you're not too entirely pleased with it, right? It's like a revisiting of something. But for the first time in a long time, you might be saying, is this what I really want? Like, I'm rushing into this. I don't even know if this is any more than skin deep what I'm rushing into. And I now have to contemplate or concern myself with, do I want to be more than skin deep about X, whatever fill in the blank is, right? Whatever is prominent to you this week. What do I think it'll get me? Is it really important to me? It's the card, the words on the card are all that glitters. And I'll look at these in more detail with you in a moment. So let's get your internal influence card and look at these in detail. I see the fates at the top for your external influence, and this is something that you might feel is a bit heavy, like a heavy state of emotion or a heavy situation or position to be in. The fates is also it's literally the card of karma. So like one of its major terms in the book, for example, is karma. So is something fated? Have you fulfilled a fate? Is this a karmic situation for you? Have you fulfilled the karma? Are you exploring the karma and the fate, hoping for a different outcome? What the outcome that you're getting, do you think it's worth it? That type of thing. So that's what fates is asking in that position. And we're just looking for an internal influence card for you, Pisces. What are you bringing to the table, or what do you recognize about the situation, or what do you need to recognize about the situation that's conscious or subconscious? This is general internal influence for Pisces. Taking its good old time. I have a preference for jumper cards. I know a lot of people read differently, where they pull from the top of the deck or they split the deck and take from the center. I have read a lot of different ways and did utilize all those different kinds of styles, but I have a definitive preference for jumpers. So if you don't mind, you can always scroll ahead if the shuffling is unnerving. But hopefully you find it calming like I do. Here we go. Good Lord, child. Milk and honey. Well, well, well. You don't feel taken advantage of. Sorry, you don't feel like you're taking advantage of anybody. You might feel as though you're being taken advantage of. You might feel like something is being kept from you. However, Pisces, you might be the person doing it. Okay, so the overall general energy to the week's reading is come to the edge. This is a moment of truth for you, Pisces, whatever that is. Again, this is a general reading, so whatever you're experiencing prominently this week, whether that's business, travel, personal relationships, romance, money, family, you're willing to take a leap of faith on something because I think you're growing tired of something. You are to the point where you're saying, ooh, where we go? This is karmic and you're aware of it. You're constantly taking the same action or being presented with the same material so that you're forced to take this action. You're being faced with the same outcome, which is not appealing. It's because it's destroying your self-esteem and your happiness. But you have it. Like, you already own it. So this might be new for you too. This might be, you might have just discovered this recently or this week, for example, in saying, you know, like, oh my God, I didn't know it was always within, or I didn't know I could give myself that much attention or affection or forgiveness or pleasure or freedom or whatever. And I think you might be in a position where you're finally like, okay, I deserve this. I deserve the milk and honey. Anyway, let's look at these in detail. I'm not holding them up like I want to. Come to the edge, overall energy, which is time to make a decision, maybe even a leap of faith. And I think it's because you might have grown tired with the Ferris wheel here. So let's look at round and round a little bit in detail. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. Well, they all are. It's got the seashell, the Fibonacci sequence. So something that started out really, really small, for example, just keeps getting bigger and bigger. But if it's round and round and you're revisiting it over and over and over, it's almost like multiplying on itself and it's becoming like a burden, or it could become a burden. So you deserve better. So watch for that. And the reason why I think this has become the central position this week is because of this, the number one, the yang, which is equivalent to the sun card and the traditional tarot. And this is something that you're beginning, new beginnings, taking action, you know, feeling like it's a new adventure, but it's really becoming repetitive. It may feel new, but it's a recycling of the same thing, or you're having to recycle something that you'd rather not. You'd rather have let go or do away with or release a long time ago. So I really feel like you might have been struggling, unfortunately, and feel perhaps that you have nowhere to turn because you feel like you might be doing this alone. Let's look at the Fates card. Fate is your external influences, and it's in this reading this week, Pisces, it is what is going to make you feel heavy. And it's because it's the card of karma. Now, I'm going to add something here, and that isn't related necessarily to the cards, but it is to the reading, and that is that sometimes we get attached to what we think we're meant to do, or who we're meant to be, or that we've got a quote-unquote price to pay, or that we should do or should feel, what have you, okay? And I'm asking you this week, Pisces, to separate that feeling from the fact. Are they the same thing? Do you need to keep putting yourself through something over and over? Have you fulfilled a karma? What do you believe about the karma? So maybe ask some really direct questions about this feeling of karmic fate or karmic attraction or karmic relationship this week. In a gentle way. I mean, I'm not asking you, it's not like a task, like a test, but to give yourself some relief. Perhaps even something as simple as a pros and cons list about whatever the concern is. Literally, you know, pro, con, line in the middle, and then just really be honest. You don't have to give it to anyone or show it to anyone, but just be really honest with yourself about what you think is driving you to act or react in a certain way and why you think you need to pay that price. Because, you know, I think you know. I think you know on a really deep, intimate level, even on a karmic, you know, universe, massive godlike level, that it's over. You don't have to do anything anymore. The karma only goes on, or that fate, that feeling of fate, like you're fated, like it's just the way it is type thing. It only goes on as long as you allow it. So I'm going to ask that you exhibit a great deal of personal power this week. You don't have to run roughshod over anybody. You don't have to be an arsehole. You don't have to hurt anybody. You don't have to be hard on yourself. But I think it's really important, I really hope you can see this, to examine some of the imagery in this card, okay? So some of the imagery in your other cards are hearts and stars and blindfolds and someone offering you passion and action, or taking action and within your own hands, and revisiting something like a wheel over and over and over. This is so peaceful. This is literally mother's milk, elephants, which are matriarchal, swimming in a bowl of, I guess that's milk and honey mixed, and then honey. This is also precious, and then the picnic table. This is, and then the rainbow. Like, this is luxury. This is luxury of the natural world. You can't buy this in a store. And I don't think anyone can give this to you but you, Pisces. So I think it's a real opportunity for you to do generous soul searching. You don't have to do it fast. You don't have to, like, again, it's not a test. It's just, you know, if you want to get to the bottom of why you feel a certain way, or why you feel in whatever regard this week you feel that you're going in circles, please remind yourself that you do deserve peace and happiness. And it really does begin from within. You give it to everybody else. You cannot give what you don't have. And I'm asking you this week, please, dear Pisces, to give it to yourself this week. A lot of peace and serenity and happiness and luxury even. Oh, my dear Pisces. Okay, I mean, it's just so beautiful. And I love seeing that in your internal influence, because you're so aware of the possibilities that will come with the good feeling, that will come with the energy and the intention behind promoting the sense of love and peace and wellness. And it's the land of milk and honey. It's like nirvana, right? So, and you really do, Pisces. You give so much, and you're so generous and gentle and sweet and humorous to everybody else, but you can really give yourself a hard time. So this week I'm asking that you put some major fears to rest. Take the courage that you need this week to put yourself first by contemplating seriously about what it is you truly want and what it is you don't want, with that pros and cons list. So your probable outcome card, as I mentioned earlier, is All That Glitters. It is 2 diamond or gem encrusted masks on top of a huge pile of gold nuggets. And the masks are really so gold, sun, externalization, the way other people see you, even generally riches, lifestyle. But this is saying the masks are basically asking, on top of this huge pile, you can be above everything and everybody, even concerns, by having, okay, all this stuff, whatever you think that stuff is, relationships or money or businesses or whatever. But you're still behind a mask, and there's still someone underneath that you're not looking at and that you have to look at in order to get to the truth. You might have been fighting for so long to get something that you thought really was going to make you happy, or make you fulfilled, or make you feel like you belong, right? We all want to belong and feel special. But I think this is saying, in this situation here, Well, why do you want to belong there, right? And from a karmic place, is this serving the highest good? Does this make you feel good regularly, or is this something that you keep revisiting and it's giving the same result and it's really frustrating? So basically, where do you belong? Why do you want it? Ask yourself some difficult questions in regards to, say, you do know why you want it exactly, and you know exactly what you're doing, and you're willing to revisit this to get what you want. Your question here might be, well, I'm revisiting all this stuff and I'm still at this, first level stage where, I'm just fitting in, or I'm just realizing this. You could be saying, well, what do I need to do? Who do I need to become? And what do I need to do to get what I really want? So anyway, I will leave that portion there and let you intuitively decipher for yourself with some of the comments I've made and the terminology and the imagery and the colors and the cards, and apply that to your own life for this week, Pisces. So I hope that makes sense to you. I'd love to know more. I'd love to know what's going on in a general sense. These seem like really specific messages. So for some of my Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising, these could be very specific for the week. But please remember how special you are and how intuitive and, what am I trying to say? You're the culmination sign, right? Like, you're the sign at the end of the entire zodiac. So you're really knowing, okay? And I don't think you give yourself a lot of credit for that sometimes. So know that you know, right? You already know. You just have to come to terms with it and maybe practice new habits. Be willing to be brave about it and question simply, what do I really want? What am I willing to do to get there? And then, why do I really want it? So just, in terms of your fate or, karma. And then just remember how precious you are and how much joy you bring to the world. And you're fun. Like, Pisces is an underrated fun sign, for real. All right. So an additional message card from the Healing with the Angels Oracle is freedom. So again, this could be something, after contemplating this and going through some of the phases to get to this level where you're questioning for yourself where you really belong, why you really want things, and if I already have something inside, why am I looking for it outside of myself so much? You might find freedom in that. Not only in the process of reviewing what those karmic or fateful things are for you in the process of that, but at the end of that, like being able to release something or let go of something or find something not as important as you did before, because you're willing to switch it up. You're willing to stop revisiting something that's not working for you. And there's a lot of freedom in that. A lot of freedom in that. And the freedom card, too, doesn't mean that you're giving away anything that does belong to you or that you truly want. This is freedom from something that doesn't belong in your life anymore. So this could very well be a week of decision making. And again, if it's relationships or if it's an attitude you have about something, anything in between. Freedom from a sense of heaviness and bondage versus a bond. Okay? So Pisces, we're going to draw one more card from the Medicine Tarot. Just another additional message for Pisces for the week of April 15th to April 21st. An additional card for Pisces. What additional message do you have for Pisces today regarding this spread and this week till the 21st? Wowzers. Okay, so you have the card number 2, which is the card of the hawk. And this is the main word for this card is messenger. Yeah, you know what I mean. So you are the messenger. You are the one that's going to bring yourself your own freedom. Perhaps this was simply looking outside yourself for something to make yourself feel whole or complete or happy or content or whatever. And I think this is saying you have it. It comes from within. You can't buy it. And that is the message. An alternate way to view this card in this spread is to ask you to look for messages this week. Songs, movies, designs, paintings, colors, things that I'm asking you to be a little bit more aware of in the physical world that appeal to you. And then once you recognize that, maybe just give a little quick thought about why. Why does that appeal to you? Let's say you're really drawn to hawks or, a certain kind of bird this week, or you're really taken with an emotion or a movie or whatever. Pay attention to messages around you and the messages that you're receiving from other people. And are they karmic and fateful, always going in circles? Or is the message here that you know what you need to do? This beauty and peace is within, and that's the next step. The action is to get rid of what weighs you down. So that got incredibly long. Sorry about that, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed the reading, and I really look forward to seeing you next week for your new reading. Please take good care of yourself, Pisces. I will see you then. Bye.